All right, friends, it's T and I'm back with a new video. We're going to do something new and improved, man. It's an interview with BryanJohnson, you know, the longevity guy, the anti-aging slave. Yes, BryanJohnson. So we're gonna do a reaction video to the vegan slave. I would call him a vegan slave, anti-aging vegan slave, because he's talking about veganism here. It says here at the top. So BryanJohnson, sorry, he's doing an interview with this guy. It's called the TRS Clips. So BryanJohnson says, and this TRS Clips guy, best protein sources for vegans, BryanJohnson. So BryanJohnson is going to tell you that he's a vegan. I don't know too many vegans that are doing pretty good out there because they're all falling apart.
We got to talk about protein shakes.
Yeah.
What's your
Let's get one thing straight. Plants are not a complete protein, so they don't work. That's why these vegans, they start suffering from scurvy because it is a deficiency in amino acids. It's not usually you say people will say, "Oh, they're lacking in vitamin C." Well, that's not really truly the case. Now that could be part of it, but a lot of it is because a lack of proteins, and we're made up of proteins. We need a lot of protein, man, to sustain our bodies, to keep our bodies alive and functioning. But BryanJohnson is going to tell you otherwise. He's going to say you need to be on low protein. What the hell?
opinion?
Yeah, so I consume 120 grams of protein per day, thereabouts. And that is enough for me to be top 1% optimal in muscle mass. And
What? He's on. Listen, why doesn't he just fucking tell the truth? The guy is taking steroids. He's injecting steroids and growth hormone. They're preserving the proteins in his body, in his muscle, and the energy that is the glycogen that is being held in his liver and in his muscles. Okay, and that a bit of triglyceride, whatever he has left in his fat cells. So yeah, it's all being maintained with steroids.
cardiovascular ability and metabolic health. It is very common.
Absolutely a lie. This guy is not only is he a scammer, but he's a liar. He lies, he scams. Man, this is a pure real scammer.
To think you need 150, 200, 250, it's not required. So I've demonstrated that you can be reasonable on the protein intake, have optimal biomarkers across the board. If like my son consumes more protein than that because he's trying to bulk up and he's also 19. So
That's so fake. Your son is not going to survive on that vegan diet unless he's taking steroids like you.
there are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, a lot of people overconsume protein.
Can we break down this protein situation a little?
People overconsume protein. Man, we are carnivores. We eat protein all day long. Now, I don't know about this fake environment, people breaking the laws of nature, and they're eating all these weird plants and weird things and engineered plants and vegetables. BryanJohnson got news for you. They don't exist in nature. Why don't you go out in nature and eat some of these things? There's nothing there to eat but meat. That isn't a high protein diet. That's a high nutrient diet. Meat is a very high nutrient diet. Okay?
More? You're vegan.
I am.
It's an assumption that one can't get the protein requirements hit through a vegan diet.
Yeah.
I'd assume that you argue against that point.
Yeah. So I am vegan. I do caloric restriction, which means I consume less than the recommended daily allowance. I consume 2,250 calories a day. I exercise for 1 hour a day.
Again, why doesn't he just show you what kind of steroids he's on? Jesus. Vegan diets. All these people are falling apart. He's next anyways, eventually.
And I have a low protein intake, according to cultural norms.
So let me get this straight. He's building muscle, but he's on a low protein intake. There you go. Steroids. How many people you know build muscle on low protein? You get it? And here's the thing. He said he's on vegan diet, and vegan food is not protein. There's no protein. It's a deficiency in amino acids, and they're not bioavailable. You cannot absorb them. You can't digest fiber. You can't absorb any of these things in there because of the phytotoxins that's inside there. This is crazy. Man, this is nuts.
120, 130. And so most people say with that profile, I would be weak. I would be.
Yep, because you're on steroids. You're taking steroids and growth hormone. You admitted it in one of your videos. We already know about this. Christ. If I had it right now, I'd just pop it up and show you. But I can't go back looking for it.
Not able to compete athletically. But actually,
again, he's on steroids, just like these fake bodybuilders out there trying to tell you that there's these diets are the things that are creating their body and all that. Look at his face. It's all cosmetic. Everything that he's doing here. Man, everything he's doing is cosmetic. Steroids, the growth hormone, the injections, the peptides, the facial lifts and things, his hair, everything, the sutures, whatever. It's all cosmetic. It's fake. He's not anti-aging. It's fake.
my muscle and body fat are top 1% optimal, and my cardiovascular ability top 1.5% of age.
Again, because he's on hormone therapy. Hello, he's on steroids.
So my biomarkers say it's top 1% optimal. So it's an example that I've defied all cultural norms, and I'm still a top performer.
Gotcha. I don't think there's anyone more qualified to speak about protein intake based requirements or food based requirements than you, because of your daily experimentation and your daily download of data from your own body. Can you break down some of the vegan protein sources that are your go-tos?
Yeah. Yep. So I'll caveat and say, of course, like the advice varies according to male, female. It varies according to age. So these are just general approximations. But what I meant to say is like we follow science and we follow data.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to say is don't follow cultural norms, follow the data. So get yourself measured. But yeah, I get my protein sources from lentils, from pea protein, hemp protein, those are primary.
He gets his protein sources from these things. They're incomplete in proteins. What he does is he injects steroids. Man, why don't you just tell the guy, I take steroids and growth hormone. That's what I'm doing. And some peptides. And I take stem cell therapy and a bunch of things. It's all cosmetic. It's fake.
Really the major ones.
Gotcha. Lentils, pea proteins, and hemp proteins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, how many people you know out there, hemp proteins, pea proteins, and all that are going and building a body and that's going to reverse aging? How many people you know? Because I've seen those vegan compilations. Believe me, they're all falling apart and their hair is coming out like clumps.
you do a couple of protein shakes every day?
I have, 2 a day.
2 a day.
Yeah.
And the rest is from lentils.
He has protein shakes, plants are incomplete, and amino acids. There's no protein shakes there. It's full of shit.
So this is chickpeas, black lentils,
I'll do some beans.
beans.
Yeah.
This is primarily what we eat in India.
You know, this is typical. Have you seen those Indian people? Have you seen India? They're the most sickest populace out in the world. They look completely diminished. They're ugly. They're short. They look diminished. They look fucked up because they're all on vegan diets out there. I don't know. They eat some. There's some places they eat some meat, but they're diminished. They're diminished. Man, we're carnivores, man. We eat meat, okay? Because it's high nutrient diet. It's not deficient in any nutrients or amino acids. So, I don't understand what Bryan Johnson's trying to pull here. It would never work on a person that isn't taking steroids like him to preserve himself. But eventually, it's gonna give. Eventually, even if he is taking steroids, it's gotta give at some point. It's gotta give. That is not anti-aging if you're eating things that are deficient in nutrients. Plants are deficient in more than 50 nutrients. It's not bioavailable, and I don't know what else to say there, bro. It's filled with toxins like oxalates and things. These plants, that's nuts.
Because we have mostly a vegetarian population.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen what they look like? People don't even listen to their eyes anymore. Look, your eyes are not lying. Have you seen these Indian people, their hair, their faces, their bodies, the way they are? They're the sickest population in the world. They're dying. This is nuts.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer show, we upload.
Yes, I enjoyed that clip, but it's just junk. It's just garbage. Man, they're not in positive here's the thing with vegan people, they're out of nitrogen balance, they're negative nitrogen balance, okay? An association with building muscle, you have to be in positive nitrogen balance. It's a known fact vegans are not in positive nitrogen balance, man. I can prove it. I've done it, videos on it before. You can look it up. Fuck it. This is just bullshit. BryanJohnson is a liar. The only thing that's sustaining him are those steroids and growth hormone and peptides, and then these whatever. He's taking stem cell therapy and a bunch of stuff. That's about it. These pills and everything, forget it.